splashing in the shallow end. Hello, wherever you are, and welcome to Splashing in the Shallow End. I'm recording this one in the car. I can't get the mic thing to work, so this will be the audio from the phone, so apologies if it's awful and if there's a lot of noise from the car or from the outside or from people beeping madly at me as I weave around the road. I hope you're doing well. Again, apologies for not just apologies. It's been such a long time, but you know, things get in the way, things happen. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So today, as I record this, it's the 1 year anniversary of my mum's passing, and so I thought I would do something about death and grief and things like that, as it seems appropriate today. So I just want to talk a little bit about my mum's passing and what it means to me, and how I'm dealing with grief, or how we all deal with grief and things like that. So I suppose a year ago today I got a phone call at about 8 in the morning from the hospice to let me know to get up to them as soon as I could, because they didn't think my mum had long left to live. She'd gone into the hospice on the Wednesday, and this was the Saturday morning when they called. So I travelled up as quickly as I could. I wasn't sure what to expect. I eventually got to her room in the hospice, and whenever I went in, she was obviously finding it difficult to breathe. Her breathing was quite laboured, and it sounded quite gurgling. So I knew that we were in the last stages of her life. Whenever I did get in, she suddenly, whether she saw me, I don't know, or whether she heard me, I'm not sure. But her breathing changed from being very laboured and gurgling to being very, very shallow. In fact, sometimes it was hard to know whether she was breathing at all. And so I pulled up a chair and I sat beside her and I took her hand and I talked to her for a little while. I said the things that I thought needed saying, and then I held her hand and I just sat with her. And her breathing got less and less obvious. In fact, they had a crocheted shawl or bed cover that they put on top of the bed, and I used it as an indicator that she was still breathing, because as long as the pattern on the shawl was sort of moving, then I knew that she was still breathing. And then after about 15 minutes maybe, I couldn't see the shawl pattern on the shawl move anymore, and I assumed that she had slipped away. I sat for 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then I got up and grabbed one of the nursing staff who was walking around in the corridor, and I said to her, I think my mum's died, I'm not sure, can you come and let me know? And she came in, felt her pulse, and that sort of stuff and told me that Mum had passed away. It's been a strange sort of year for me in terms of grief, because I don't think I've started to grieve properly. I think I've been rationalising things for the last year. The way I looked at it, the way I rationalised it was she'd had a terrible last few months, and this passing away was a blessed release for her. That's the way I rationalised it, that's the way I could cope with it. That the quality of life she had in her last few months was awful, and I wouldn't have wanted her to continue on as she had, the way that she had, and that her passing was in fact a release for her, and she was no longer in any pain or any discomfort, and her dignity was again restored to her. Grief is a strange thing, and everybody experiences it in a different way. There's not a right or wrong way to grieve. There's not a right time to grieve and a wrong time to grieve. It just happens to everyone in a different way. Everybody experiences it in a different way. So if you're grieving today, I'm with you. I feel your sorrow and your pain. I hope that your grief is not something that completely cripples your life, that you can't live in any way at all. I hope that you were able to say the things that you needed to say to the person that you've lost, and I hope that your memories of that person are good ones. I know that sometimes people have experienced grief and they've had a difficult relationship with that person, and the death of that person just makes things all the worst. So if you are grieving, like I said, I'm with you. I stand beside you. I hope that you're doing all right. Death is a strange thing. For some people, they believe that it's the beginning of a new existence. For others, they believe that that's the finish, that's the end of it. I'm not sure where I stand on the whole thing. I'd like to believe in a life beyond this. And in my better times, in my better days, I do, and I believe that God, as I said in a previous video, that God saves or heals or redeems everybody. It's not just the believers or anybody like that. God's love extends to everyone. Well, what can I say? There's not much I can say. I miss my mum dreadfully. I miss her every single day, and I'm so grateful for the life that she gave to me and to my brother Pete, and to those who knew and loved her as well. So I encourage you to be grateful and remember those people who are still about. It's so easy whenever somebody goes to then remember all the good times and to remember how much you loved them, but it's sometimes hard when they're with us to say the things we want to say, to express that love that we have for them in a way that lets them know that they were loved, or loved and were loved. So I suppose maybe that's all I want to say. It was a bit of a splashing about in the shallow end, but it's not a shallow subject. It's a subject that affects everybody. Nobody escapes it. Like death and taxes, they say, and only two things that are certain in life. So I wish you all well. I hope you're doing well in your life, and I would encourage you to say and to express your love for those people who are still around you now Don't wait until it's too late. Sorry, I didn't realise that my my they call those things only records for 10 minutes, then cuts off. So I was blabbering into the ether there at the very end, but I'm sure it was unimportant anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Look, keep yourself safe and well, and I'll see you the next time I do one of these. Maybe I'll drive around a bit more. It seemed to sort of work a little bit better. I'm actually in my mum's car. I decided I would take her car. It's now my car. And I've discovered two things about the Toyota Aygo. One, it doesn't go very fast, and two, it really, really hates hills. But we'll see. It's a way of keeping, I suppose, in touch and contact with my mum physically through the car that she drove. I now drive. So look after yourselves. Take care, and sure, look, see you some other time. Okay. Bye bye.